Hi everyone, Jennifer Hama here, licensed professional counselor, certified professional counselor supervisor. Wanted to talk about discharge planning. A lot of folks first enter mental health treatment at either the inpatient level, partial hospitalization, or intensive outpatient level, which means that you're coming into a facility, usually after a pretty intense situation, usually one of the worst days of your life. And then those things tend to happen very quickly. And one of the things that folks start to work on when you're in a hospital setting is something called discharge planning, but that can be a little bit overwhelming to handle. So I wanted to give you some tips and some feedback on how to do discharge planning. The first important piece is if you are taking a medication that was prescribed at that hospital, so most likely something that is an antidepressant, something to treat a mood stabilizer, a antipsychotic, an anxiolytic, you are going to want to see a psychiatrist at least to begin with. So I don't in most of the time, in most cases, I don't recommend you seeing your primary care physician unless there's some extreme circumstances. I would really recommend seeing a board certified psychiatrist at least in the beginning. It does usually mean a specialist, and sometimes your insurance will not cover as much for that or charges a higher copay for specialist, but I do think it would be best for your long run. So a psychiatrist is a medical doctor. So you will see the term MD or DO behind their name. You can also have an advanced nurse practitioner. Usually you'll see the letters APRN and or NP behind their name. Though they can also prescribe. PA, physician's assistants, can also prescribe. So those are going to be folks that have medical training, have been to a form of medical school, whether that was nursing school, PA school, doctor of osteopathy type thing, and they can prescribe medications. And the two best places to find one is look for your insurance. So I usually tell people to start with your insurance to see if you can find provider that way. If you ask your insurance, a lot of times they'll email you a list of providers near your area. Or another good one is WebMD. What you don't know oftentimes is what their specialties are. WebMD can narrow that down for you, but it won't necessarily tell you what insurance panels they're on. So each psychiatrist is different. They can specialize in addictive medicine. They can specialize in child and adolescent. They can specialize in older adult. So you do want someone who can fit your needs. The next part of your discharge planning is going to be your therapist. A therapist can either be a licensed psychologist, a licensed clinical social worker, LCSW, a licensed master social worker, LMSW, a licensed marriage and family therapist, an LMFT, or an LPC, a licensed professional counselor, which is what I am. And so those are going to be some of the letters that you may see behind their name. Those folks are not able to prescribe medication. What they are trained to do is to use their knowledge and their expertise to work with you on dealing with the rest of the symptoms. So you have your medical team who are going to be prescribing your medications, and then you have your therapist who's going to most likely be using some form of talk therapy, though some do biofeedback, some do EMDR, some do brain spotting, and a couple other forms that may not be necessarily talking, but they're going to do that therapy component. The best place that I like for people to find therapists is Psychology Today. Now, in order to be on Psychology Today, therapists pay money to be in that referral place. So for example, I pay a monthly subscription for my ad to show up on Psychology Today. So if someone looks up a therapist in 30096 Georgia, my name will pop up, and I pay for that to pop up on that search engine. So just be aware that people are paying for this service to come for you, and I am one of them. But it's a really good way. I like it because you can search by insurance, you can search by location, you can search by specialty. For example, my specialty is group. I do just group therapy. And so if you're looking for a group therapist, and you see me, you're going to see how I work, how I operate, to see if we're a good fit. You can see my picture, you can see my website. So I like it because it provides you at no cost a lot of information about the person you are going to be seeing. And you have a lot of ability to search for certain specialties. The other place that you can look is through your insurance. Your insurance can provide you a list. The only thing that's difficult with that is the insurance does not provide specialties. So if you're looking for someone who specializes in managing post-hospital treatment, you don't know that. You don't know if they specialize in divorce. You don't know if they specialize in children. So the insurance lists oftentimes don't give you that information, and sometimes you compare them together from the Psychology Today website and the insurance website. When you're planning your treatment, so your psychiatrist, usually you will see about once a month. Okay, so they can be a little bit further distance. Now, and then as you get more and more stable, a lot of times they'll increase the length of time between appointments. For your therapist, most likely you're going to be seeing them once a week. And so you probably want them a little bit closer to your home, or if you're interested, there is telemental health. So if you have access to a computer, you like working on the computer, some therapists work online. I do have some virtual therapy stuff that I do for folks that might be an option for. So, but you do probably in general want your therapist to be a little bit closer. So those are some tips and tricks on discharge planning to help you really get a good solid foundation. One of the things that I developed for folks after working for over 10 years in the hospital system, now that I work in private practice, I've set up a program called the Road to Recovery. And what that is a 4-week program designed for folks who have successfully completed inpatient treatment, partial hospitalization, or intensive outpatient programs. And it helps you step back into your regular life, right? Regular life as it can be after an incident like this. And what it does is it provides 3 hours of treatment per week for 4 weeks. So it's a little bit more than your typical 1-hour therapy session per week or every other week. It provides a really good structure. And so it's 1.5 hours of individual therapy a week and 1.5 hours of group therapy per week. And those initial sessions include intake, 1 individual session, 1 family session, and 1 discharge planning session, in addition to the group therapy. And so it's a really structured environment. The group sessions are co-led with another therapist who has extensive hospitalist training and really set to do a good foundation to prevent rehospitalization, to prevent recidivism, to help you build that foundation so that you can get that fulfillment, to get that freedom that you've been looking for. So if you have any other questions about that, check out the website, www.petrichorcounseling.com, and let me know if you have any other questions as far as discharge planning and suggestions and tips on how to find the right provider for you and how to set up a really good discharge plan. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.